Greetings, Tomb Raider fans. It's been years since we heard anything about Legacy of Atlantis, and since the game is coming this year, I decided that I would take it upon myself and put together a wish list of things that I want included in Legacy of Atlantis. And since I have a proven track record, the iconic leopard print dress from the Vegas episode, we need this outfit. My enjoyment of this game hinges on this outfit being available. The final thing that I would like to see hints that maybe they're working on a remaster for games 4 to 6. But in the bottom right corner, we see some coordinates that point to the pyramids of Giza. Is this confirming a Tomb Raider 4 remaster potentially? More interestingly, what we can speculate is that a Tomb Raider 1 remake is on the cards. So you can count on me to ensure that Legacy of Atlantis will be received well by the fans, since I know what's best for the franchise. I have split this video into different categories, so we're going to start with gameplay first. Since we are entering a new era, it is safe to say that the gameplay will be different from what we are used to, so I'd like to recommend my favourite parts of each era in the Tomb Raider franchise, and what I would like to be carried over into this new era. What I would carry over from the classic games would be the large open areas, tons of area to explore with lots of keys to find, switches to pull, and a full inventory system where you're constantly looking through, combining items in your inventory, moving them around, looking at them differently. Resident Evil has adapted this formula really well for their new games and their remakes, so I don't see why Tomb Raider can't do the same. For the LAU trilogy, the movement system and the acrobatics and the stylish moves and even some of the combat where you're jumping and flipping around, locking onto one target at a time, that's one of my favourite parts of those games, and I would love for that to be carried over for the new era. And then for the reboot games, the collectibles, the documents and the relics, as well as the monoliths that you can translate for rewards, that's my favourite area of the reboot games, and I would love to see some of those documents and relics and items that you can find in the area just to enrich the storytelling. That would be my favourite thing. Now, this game is a remake, but it also looks a little bit more like a reimagining. So long as the flow of the game reminds you of the original from 1996, but the levels are expanded, that would be really great. So new puzzles, new areas, and a new interpretation, but it still feels very much like the original. More additions than subtractions, okay? Like, we don't want to combining the Sistine and Tomb of Tehokan situation like Anniversary had, even though those are my least favorite levels and I'm happy to shorten them. Let's, add more, reinterpret better than taking a whole level away. That's not how we should be handling the remake. I would love to see new levels, but specifically during the transition stages between the different countries that you visit. So if we had a level where we were actually the ones that were in control and infiltrating other technologies, instead of a cutscene, we're actually the ones going through the documents, going through the offices, trying to find the information and putting everything together for the next stage. That would be really cool. Additionally, if we were climbing the mountain before you get to the St. Francis Folly Monastery, maybe if we were the ones that were actually riding the motorbike in Egypt and we had to navigate through all these sand dunes and all of these cliff edges, that would be really cool. Now, we can't talk about Tomb Raider without talking about Croft Manor, okay? I want a fully refurbished Croft Manor. No decrepit mansion. You can have boxes as a reference to the original, but I want it fully refurbished, fully done. I want it completely intact, built up, and ready with new puzzles to solve, and hidden doorways and entrances, servants' quarters, all of that. Okay, I don't mind too much if it looks like the classic manor or the reboot style manor. I don't care what manor it looks like. It just needs to have those elements. It has to have some kind of assault course, a gym, swimming pool, library, bedroom, kitchen, a freezer to lock your butler in. It would be great if it also had references to both old and new adventures. Maybe a tease for a Tomb Raider 2 remake. Maybe she's already looking into some kind of Chinese mythology. Finally, what I want to talk about for gameplay are some new game modes. So maybe a challenge mode, something akin to the remasters but handled a little bit better. What I would prefer to see as well though is like an endless hordes mode where you are in an arena based environment. Say you're in the Lost Valley and there's waves upon waves of velociraptors and T-Rexes that you have to fight, or let's say you're in the Colosseum and there's a bunch of gorillas and Atlantean mutants or whatever it might be that are trying to fight you, and you have to get through waves upon waves of enemies. It would be really good as well if they could do some DLC tombs as well, so some new challenge areas, some new rooms that are inspired by the original. On that note, it would be great to get Unfinished Business remade as well and included into the story somehow. So let's move on to what I want now for the story elements for the Legacy of Atlantis. The most important thing for me for the story is that Lara is a fully established, confident character. We've had the Survivor games, we've had her origin, we knew where she was heading. It took 3 games to get there. We're finally there. Let's stay there, okay? I want Lara to be completely confident. She's at the peak of her career. She's a very striking person. She's got all of those characteristics that we expect her to have. The voice actress for Lara in the new game, Alex Walton Regan, who I met by the way, and she is a delight. She has given me confidence that the new version of Lara is going to be a lot more akin to what we're expecting. And I'll be so happy to get a Lara Croft that resembles the classic games and even the LAU trilogy. Additionally, I want this to be Lara's own adventure. She's been hired by Natla, so let's keep it that way. I don't want any references to her father, or even Roth. I don't want this to be adventure. She's following the footsteps of another character. I want this to be Lara's own adventure that she's embarking on herself. Let's keep the story simple and similar to the original. Let's keep it grounded. No twist that Lara's dad has met Natla. None of that. Lara's stake in the story is that she's been double-crossed and nobody gets in her way. But she's in this for sport, so let's keep it that way. Hopefully the game is going to have a light-hearted tone, hoping for a Peggy 16 rating. I'm okay with violence, but I want the whole story to be feeling a lot more light and fresh and positive and fun. I'd love to see some new backstory for some of the characters, like the cowboy, Kid, and Cold. Don't really need any new characters, though I am expecting them with the Society of Raiders potentially being introduced here. I'd love to see some documents referencing what the original characters are actually involved with Natla for and why they have joined her. My last point for story is how much I want the lore to be expanded through documents. I've mentioned this already a couple times, but I'd love to see documents from the mine workers in Natla's mines. I'd love to see some Egyptian documents, some Greek records. I'd love to see references to the Atlantis civilization before it was destroyed. I just want the Tomb Raider 1 mythology to be expanded so much more, because I think there's so much you can say about that particular game. It's one of my favorites in the franchise, and there's so much interesting things that you can do with it. I really can't wait to see what they do. Okay, moving on from that, I've got a little bit of a point to say about the soundtrack for the game, hoping that it's going to return to that orchestral, classical music style. The thing that made Tomb Raider 1 so haunting was that the classic music was so awe-inspiring, but at the same time very scary, but also very beautiful. It would be great to have full recreations of the original tracks. I also wouldn't be opposed to them just reusing certain tracks and just slotting them in the original file into the game somewhere. I think that could be fun as a little reference. Maybe towards the end of the game, maybe the final boss fight is actually just the original Natla theme. I think that could be really fun. One other tiny thing I want to slot in here as well when we're talking about the soundtrack is I want Grey Griffin back for Jacqueline Natla, okay? She played her in Tomb Raider Anniversary. She played Jean in Bayonetta. She played Azula in Avatar The Last Airbender. She's one of my favorite voice actors. I want her back because when I hear her voice, I think of Natla because that's the character I grew up with. So I really want her back for this game.
Sooner or later, you'll run out of bullets.
Finally, I want to talk about one little section. It wouldn't be a Bayonetta video if we didn't reference outfits, okay? Let's talk about the outfits I want in Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis.
I think I'll slip into something else.
Now, we've already seen that the Underworld costume, the wetsuit, is going to be included in this game. So I thought, okay, since this is the 30th anniversary of the franchise, let's have one outfit from each game in the series and bring that over and celebrate all versions of Lara in this new era. So for Tomb Raider 1, of course, we've got the classic outfit, we've got the gym outfit, which I like as well. For Tomb Raider 2, I've picked the bomber jacket. It's one of my favorite outfits in the franchise, and since we do have a little bit of exploration in the snow at the very beginning of the game, would work perfectly for this one. For Tomb Raider 3, I've picked the Nevada outfit. Now, this isn't my favorite outfit in the franchise. In fact, I think it's a little bit overrated among fans, but it is very iconic and it would work very well. For Tomb Raider 4, I mean, you've got the classic outfit, of course. We could do a different version of that outfit where she's got a bit more of a leotard and it's cut on the sides, or we could do the young Lara outfit if you want. I don't really care. I'm not that fussed about that one. For Tomb Raider Chronicles, the cat suit, of course. Hello, that's got to be the best option there. Angel of Darkness, pick any outfit you like. Even the wetsuit, but don't pick the wetsuit. Pick the AOD shorts or the long pants, the camouflage. That's the best option. But even the denim. Bring the denim, here's what we'll do. But just for Angel of Darkness, because it's the best game, we're going to pick the denim outfit, you can wear it in Croft Manor. Then you're going to have the Angel of Darkness camouflage shorts and trousers you can wear on your adventure. How's that sound? How's that sound to everyone? I think we're all in agreement there. I think that's going to be good. Tomb Raider Legend, you've got the default outfit. Can't go wrong. Great outfit. Love it. Can't wait to see that interpreted with Legacy of Atlantis. More than likely, that outfit is going to make an appearance. I'm almost certain of it. For Tomb Raider Underworld, we have the wetsuit, of course. If you wanted to do another Tomb Raider Underworld outfit, what would I pick? Maybe Snow Light? We'll see. For the reboot games, we've got 2013. I'd pick the default outfit. It's pretty iconic in its own way. I expect to see an interpretation of that outfit making its appearance in this game as well. For Rise, I couldn't really pick an outfit. I don't really know. They're all kind of dreadful. Not as bad as Shadow, but you know, maybe I'd pick I like the green jacket the best, but I don't think it's a very exciting outfit. So maybe the red expedition jacket Parker, maybe that one, but it's kind of fugly, so I don't know. And then for Shadow, my favorite outfit is the button-up shirt that she wears at the very beginning of the game. You could do the default outfit. I think it's kind of fugly. I don't know why you would do that, but could go either way. I could see both of those being included. One more outfit I would like to see, actually. I reckon they might do a interpretation of what Sophie Turner is wearing in the Amazon Prime TV show into Legacy of Atlantis. I would bet money that that is going to happen. Okay, well that wraps up just about everything I want for Legacy of Atlantis. It's only a small little wish list, it's only a couple things, but I would love if some of those things were included in the next game. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very excited for the game, and of course I'm going to cover more of the game as soon as we get some more details. I expect another trailer at the Summer Games Fest. Not too long to wait, I suppose. I've got some new videos up and coming. I'm planning some more stuff for you guys, so do keep an eye out on that. Give me a subscribe if you want, like the video, share with people, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Otherwise, until next time, I will see you in my next video. Adios.